Hello, how y'all doing? I'm going to talk about in this video Jerry Falwell Jr., a drunk, and Becki Falwell, a nymph. Now this is part one. Now I'm not condemning anybody because the Bible says we have all sinned. I'm sweating out here, y'all. Hot and muggy here. I got a fan out here. Okay, but the Bible says we have all sinned and come short of the glory of God. So I'm not condemning them. But 1 Corinthians chapter 5 verses 1 through 9, Paul writes to the Corinthians. He said, y'all are doing something that the Gentiles aren't even doing. In other words, people who are outside the church, you're doing things that don't even have a name. Okay, you're doing things that people who are not saved aren't even doing. Now, what kind of name does it have? What kind of name is that? A man that watches his wife get banged by another man, and he's looking at it. What kind of mess is that? What kind of marriage is that? That doesn't even have a name. Now, maybe I'm slow, but what's the name for that? Does anybody know? What's the scientific name for that? The man will watch in the bedroom while his wife is being banged by some other man. All three of them are in the bed together. Okay, now I know about menage a trois. I know about that. Okay, but see, this is a whole new level of perversion. Okay, this is a whole new level of kinkiness, y'all. Now, this man named Grande, they said they have whiskey and wine with them all the time in their house, everywhere. Now, there's a second man that has come forth. He said in 2008, he went over the Falwell's house because him and the son had band practice. So I guess while everybody was gone, Becki Falwell gave him a blowjob. And then when he spent the night there, she wound up in his bed and gave him more blowjobs after that. And she flirted with him all year. Now, Jerry Falwell Jr. and Becki Falwell have been telling students via some type of student handbook, you can't kiss, you can't hug, you can't drink, you don't smoke. But they're doing far worse than that. They're drinking more whiskey and wine than that, okay? They're doing far more than what they're telling the students not to do. Now, Becki told this man named Grande that they are in the swingers club. Okay, she told him that. So they're doing far worse than what the students are doing. Now, Becki Falwell is a nymphomaniac. I am not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. Becki Falwell is a nymphomaniac. The street word is nymph. Now, I've realized that I have heard about nymphs since I was 12 years old, maybe even before that, but that's all I can remember. When I was 12 years old, there was this other girl who was 12. She was a nymphomaniac. When I was 16, my mother told me about a preacher who slept with every woman in the church but a little old lady. In my college years, this girl named Teresa Boney and her friend Cherie, they were nymphomaniacs. I think they sucked and chewed every man on college campus except the president. I'm not so sure about that either. Okay. Now, my fiance at the time, his friends used to come over, okay? And they used to talk about, who's a nymph and who isn't. They just talk about that, okay? Now, see, a nymph has compulsive sex. They are reckless. They are careless. They don't care who, when, what, and where. They don't care, okay? Becki Falwell does not care who she's with. She wants to do it right now. Why? Because she's a nymphomaniac. And I submit to you that everybody in the Christian community, particularly the richer ones, knew about this. Just the poor people didn't know. But I submit to you that everyone, the higher ups in the Christian community knew about it. And Donald Trump certainly didn't know about it. He knew. So, but see, a prostitute is not a nymph. A prostitute is in business. Now, I know some prostitutes are nymphs, but most of them are just in business. Okay, a whore is not necessarily a nymph. Now, a whore just They don't care who's married, if the man's married or not. They don't care. But I do not think a whore is just a whore. They're opportunists. But a whore is not always a nymph. Now, a nymph is reckless and careless. They don't care who, with, where, how. The logistics, y'all. They don't care. They just want it now. They do not pick and choose. Now, Becki Falwell meets all the criterion of a nymph. Now, there are a lot of celebrities who are nymph. Tiger Woods, Magic Johnson. He said he did it. I mean, he wrote in his book. Too much information, y'all. but Magic Johnson kind of dismissed it as, well, that's what all the NBA players do. But there's a lot of famous people who are nymphs. Now, Jerry Falwell Jr. is a drunk also, because I would not be surprised if when he gave the RNC speech, he was drunk when he did it. Okay, that would be surprise me at all. See, I think when you have this type of behavior, they're both nymphs. I mean, Jerry Falwell and his wife, they're both nymphs. They're both careless and reckless. They are both nymphs, but he's gay. But why not just be honest? I told you I'm not anti-gay. I am pro-human rights. I don't care if he's gay. But why not just be honest about who he is? Okay? So I think when you have this type of behavior, you need to look closer. You need to look at the families. So I'm going to talk about the families in the next video, part 2. Thank you.